Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Dak Prescott could sign blank check to leave for AFC rival, says analyst. One team should consider signing Dallas Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott to a blank check, says one analyst. With Prescott's future in Dallas a major question mark, he'll be entering the final year of his contract this season. Former general manager and current ESPN analyst Mike Tannenbaum is suggesting an AFC rival, the Las Vegas Raiders, sign Prescott to a blank check next offseason to leave the Cowboys. If I'm Raiders owner, Mark Davis, I have a countdown clock in my office and that plane is fueled and ready to go, Tannenbaum said. And I'm giving Dak Prescott a blank check to go with Brock Bowers and Davante Adams. The 30-year-old quarterback is on the verge of entering his 9th season and is actually coming off of the best season of his career. Prescott finished as the runner-up in 2023 NFL MVP voting to Lamar Jackson and is coming off a banner year in which he posted career highs in completions, 410, and passer rating, 105.9. However, one blemish on Prescott's resume is his lack of postseason success. Despite the Cowboys finishing with their third consecutive season of at least 12 wins, Dallas bowed out of the first round with a humiliating home playoff loss to the 7th-seeded Green Bay Packers, 48-32. Prescott is 2-5 in his playoff career and the Cowboys have yet to advance past the divisional round of the postseason under his lead. The lack of playoff success may be playing a role in Dallas' lack of urgency to get a deal done with Prescott. Despite the lack of progress in talks between both sides, ESPN's Jeremy Fowler reports that the Cowboys are prioritizing Prescott's contract extension over the likes of CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons. You've got Dak Prescott. The Cowboys have a world of problems here financially with 3 players they have to sign, Micah Parsons, CeeDee Lamb as well, but the feeling around the league and sources I've talked to is that they want to start with Dak, Fowler said on Friday, June 14. They've put it on the table with Dak's people that, hey look, you're a priority. We want to try to get something done. As far as hard dollars, not a lot of progress yet. I would describe their efforts so far as passive. If the Cowboys and Prescott are unable to get a deal done, there will be no shortage of teams interested in the 3-time Pro Bowl quarterback in the offseason. The Raiders could very well be one of them, considering they're currently lacking a franchise quarterback. Las Vegas currently features second-year man Aiden O'Connell and journeyman passer Gardner Minshew as their top 2 quarterbacks. While the Raiders lack a franchise quarterback, they have all of the other pieces necessary to lift the team into a potential playoff contender. The Raiders have Davante Adams, Brock Bowers, and Max Crosby as core franchise pieces, meaning they're set at wide receiver, tight end, and edge rusher. They just need a quarterback to get them to that next level. According to Spotrac, Prescott's market value is $53.1 million per year across 4 seasons for a total of over $212 million. That would make him the 3rd highest-paid quarterback in the league. If Prescott does indeed hit the free agency market next offseason, there's little doubt that teams lacking a franchise quarterback such as the Raiders will offer the veteran quarterback a lot of money to sign with them. Ex-GM says Mark Davis needs to give blank check to 3-time Pro Bowl QB. With some major quarterback contracts getting finalized this offseason, the price for Dallas Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott is likely only going up. The Las Vegas Raiders are one of the most quarterback-needy teams in the NFL and could be ready to be aggressive next offseason. Though the price for Prescott will be high, ESPN analyst and former general manager for the New York Jets Mike Tannenbaum believes Raiders owner Mark Davis needs to go all in on the 3-time Pro Bowl quarterback. If I'm Mark Davis, I have a countdown clock in my office and that plane is fueled and ready to go, Tannenbaum said on the June 28 episode of ESPN's Get Up. And I'm giving Dak Prescott a blank check to go with Brock Bowers and Davante Adams. The Raiders may be too good in 2024 to have a real shot at drafting a quarterback early. That proved to be the case this year as the team was heavily linked to quarterbacks in the draft, but all 6 of the top prospects were selected before they made their pick. The best avenue for the Raiders could be to try and land a big-name free agent like Prescott. Prescott controls his own destiny. He has a no-trade clause and can't be franchise tagged after the season. The Cowboys don't have much of a say if he decides he wants to leave. From Dallas' perspective, ESPN's Bill Barnwell believes they can't let Prescott walk. The Cowboys would be more optimistic about landing their post-Prescott starter if he leaves for greener pastures next year, but landing on the right quarterback is easier said than done, Barnwell wrote in a June 19 column. Re-signing Prescott will be expensive, but living through years of football irrelevance would be even more painful for Jones and the Cowboys. They can't afford to make that mistake. Prescott has had notable playoff struggles, but he's a very strong regular season player. He led the NFL with 36 touchdown passes last season and is still only 30. He could be a top 10 quarterback for another several seasons. It won't be cheap, but it's hard to imagine the Cowboys don't at least try to re-sign him. It sounds appealing for Prescott to be dropped into the Raiders lineup right now. However, there are so many unknowns with the team. Head coach Antonio Pierce did great in an interim role last season, but what will happen now that he has the full-time gig? Is the defense actually good now after a strong 2023 season? Is offensive coordinator Luke Getsy capable of calling plays for a good offense? If any of those questions are answered with a no, the Raiders might be in for a rough season. Finishing with 6 or fewer wins would not indicate a team that is just a quarterback away from being real contenders. Now, if the Raiders finished with 8 or 9 wins but are held back by their quarterbacks, then the idea of adding Prescott has to be very appealing. Paying quarterbacks not named Patrick Mahomes big money has been a losing formula for teams, but it could be time for the Raiders to take a big swing. Why Dak Prescott shouldn't give Cowboys a discount. Back during the 2021 offseason, Dak Prescott outleveraged the Dallas Cowboys front office into a 4-year, $160 million contract extension that made him the second highest paid quarterback in the league at the time. He called the front office's bluff and decided to play on the franchise tag for 2 seasons before forcing the hand of Cowboys owner, Jerry Jones, into a huge contract extension. Jones and the Cowboys front office have been burned over the past several seasons in terms of extending their own players. They continue to sit back and watch the market explode after other organizations extend their players before the Cowboys do. The quarterback market in particular has grown exponentially over the past few months. Let's take a look at the highest-paid quarterbacks in the NFL. Prescott has already bet on himself once in his career during contract negotiations, and it appears that the Cowboys' signal caller is taking up that same strategy heading into 2024. And you fan? What do you think of the situation of Dak Prescott? Leave your opinion in the comments.